Anaconda, it's essentially the same hold, same choke, same everything, really. There's a few different finishing techniques, but primarily the difference is where you're starting it from. The Darc'e is under the armpit and over. Anaconda is through the head, and you're catching on this side. That's really the big difference, but you're going to catch them a lot the same, and you're going to finish them very similarly. The difference is Anaconda, you usually have to catch the foot somewhere. You're kind of pinning their head, versus a Darc'e, you can finish on the side wherever you want. So for the sake of everybody being new, we'll just do a basic Darc'e from turtle first, and then we'll get into some of the trickier stuff after that, all right? So for the Darc'e, we're going to come left hand under the armpit, and you want your thumb like on the back of his neck. You want to be able to put it flat. So if you put your hand like this, you want that thumb to be flat on the back of his neck. If your thumb's straight up, you're not far enough in, and you don't need to be all the way over your hand. That's actually too far. So just think about putting your thumb straight over, flat on the back of his neck. So come in, flat on the back of his neck. I personally like to start with a gable grip and break them down first, but for the sake of finishing, we're gonna come in, you're gonna grab your bicep. Don't come in and grab your bicep here, you wanna grab your tricep, turn it, and that makes it quite a bit tighter versus just catching the bicep. It seems silly, but there's like an extra 2 centimeters there, and that's a big difference between finishing somebody and someone holding out on you. So for this drill, we're gonna take from here, catch a gable grip. You're gonna squeeze their head, and you wanna force his head into his knee towards you, right? And that'll break him down. Boom, he comes here. So for the Darc'e, you're gonna shoot in, right? I still got my thumb on the back of his neck. Catch your tricep, turn, kind of sprawl in, there it is. You're gonna put your chest into his shoulder right there. You're gonna sprawl out into it. You can take your time on this, it'll finish every time. If you've got a good lock on it, it's good. So right thumb, you're gonna catch, here, sprawl that way. All right, questions? Everybody good? All right, 3, 2, 1, partner up. And you'll catch it a lot. Also, Anaconda's kind of the same way, where if you're seeing him roll and you think you can reach across, you can see that armpit, you can catch stuff. So the next thing we'll do in Anaconda, the reason it's called an Anaconda is because of the roll. You don't have to do the roll. Actually, Storm never does it. He doesn't like it because I get it, because it's easier to do it the other way. But the roll looks cooler, and if you finish it that way, it'll be better on Instagram, really. So go down. So again, so Darc'e, right? We went, Darc'e, we went under, right? Under the armpit. This one we're gonna come this, come back the other way. My bad. Same thing, but all the way around. So for this one, we're gonna come through the armpit on this, the exit is the armpit, right? So you're gonna catch it. For the Anaconda roll, what I like to do is catch it here. So same with the gable grip, and hack down. You're gonna hack under his elbow. And you're trying to bring in his elbow. And you're gonna aim your head underneath, inside there. And you're gonna roll all the way through. And you'll end up catching his leg on the outside, right? So we're gonna come here, we're gonna roll under, and we're gonna roll. We're gonna shoot as far as the way through, and it's the same catch as the Darc'e, right? You're gonna catch your same, wherever you're at, and then you're gonna walk in. Obviously, if you can catch a leg, better. He's not gonna let you, he's gonna run out. And as he runs, you just follow him. I'm gonna loosen it up for you. If you can, you're gonna actually come up. And then you can finish it from the top. If he keeps running, you'll kind of have to finish from the top. But for the sake of now, let's not do that because it's brutal and it's hard. So one more time, real quick. So we'll do fast, so it's fast motion, right? So anytime you catch this front headlock, you've got a chance, right? So catch it through, you're gonna catch that gable grip. You're gonna walk in. You should feel his head like right in the middle of your sternum, and then you're just gonna walk in. It's the same thing as a necktie or anything else like that, right? So catch here, walk in, and squeeze. All right, questions? 1, 2, 3. Let's go. So this is a very common position you're gonna hit 80% of the time in jiu-jitsu, right? You end up here. And what happens is this guy shoots for an underhook. Perfect, right? You can come underneath. But people get really good and they start separating their shoulders and stuff, which you can still catch this here, right? You can still catch this, bring him in, and then you're back to finishing what we were doing earlier, right? You can finish from here. That's one way. But the other thing is, a lot of times when you're here, you start trying to grab this and people start opening up their shoulders and they come up, right? And it sucks. Yeah, or they can come out that way. That happens a lot. The game I like to play here is, so shoot the underhook again, is once you're here, if he's wide like that, which a lot of people are, the best thing to do is I'll come all the way over the top and come and fall. And look, you're right back in the anaconda. You're gonna have to chase him and all that stuff again, but you're already here, which is nice. And you can kind of play the game back and forth with him. So like if we're here and I start reaching, if he goes and falls to protect himself, well then you just come back the other way. And you're back to a Darc'e. And you can still finish it here. So he's got to make a decision: is he going to get Darc'e or is he going to get Anaconda? Right? So you can, it's this grip, right? It's the same as a headlock, front headlock. You're going to come underneath, you're going to reach over his head, and you're going to front headlock him. And then you're going to make a decision based on kind of where he goes. If he stays high, you're going to go over like a Japanese necktie, which you can also just do a Japanese necktie. That's also there as well, which I guess we can go ahead and do for that one. So come up. So Anaconda, Japanese necktie, essentially the same thing, except you don't have this grip, you keep this grip. So we're gonna come over the top, right? And I'm gonna lean, I'm gonna go over the top of him. Keep this leg locked the whole time. And you're gonna squeeze in. You can also do it here. You can come here. We'll go ahead and just get the Anaconda grip since we're here, and then finish it. Questions? Wanna see it again?
See it.
You want to see it? So we're here, right? He bases. If he bases, you're gonna come over the top. You want his head right into your armpit. And it's just a front headlock at this point. I a lot of times like to grab their chin, because it's nice that if he tries to go anywhere, I can kind of pull his chin up and make it uncomfortable for him. Right? But more importantly, I'm just keeping it in here or keeping it in here. You can even keep it kind of like a guillotine. People will start reacting. But as long as you keep it here, you're gonna come over the top of him, shoot this through, and think about, this one's a little weird because a lot of times you won't have his head, so you gotta kind of pick it up a little bit and get him there. And then once you get it there, keep this foot the whole time. And you got it. Good? Cool, ready? 1, 2, 3. Get a lot, honestly, a lot of Darces you get in scrambles. Like we were saying before, if you can find their armpit, you can find a Darce. So a lot of times, like we're in a scramble and he turns and I just, do an arm drag into it, right? That's another option. Or if we're in the middle of a scramble, I can come in and arm drag and you can still catch that and you can fall on your side. There's a lot of things, but a sneaky one, it helps. I have long arms, so I don't know if everybody could be able to do it, but we'll at least learn it and at least know how not to get caught in it, which is the big one. Because if you've rolled with me and you try to do this, I've probably Darced you because you make it too easy where you put your head. So primarily this will be a defensive lesson, but we're going to do it offensively so you'll learn how to do the choke. So it's a Darce, so he's in a body lock, right? And as he's, well, no, do the little one.
Oh, it's like this?
Yeah. So a lot of times what happens is they put their head and it's by, and if he doesn't flatten me out, as long as I'm up, standing up here, I can Darce him, right? I can come here. So as he turns the corner, I can catch it here and I can fall back and finish. It's really that easy. It's very simple. A lot of people fall for it every time because they put their head on the mat where it feels safe to do the body lock that way. But whenever you do the body lock, you got to come up high, whether it's your hips or your head. If you don't come up high, people will Darce you. It's there. So right, he's catching it, and you can kind of force this by putting his head, right? Just as he's coming around, put your head right here. And just find it. And then even if he keeps coming, at this point you've won, right? As he keeps coming, I'm still safe. I'm still safe. And just squeeze. And the good thing is you have gravity on your side on this one because he's on top of you. So you just squeeze into you. It's that simple, just squeeze into you. So think about as he's, come on. So for you, right, if you feel somebody start putting their head down, as you do your body lock, you either A, gotta drive your head up, or B, you gotta bring your hips all the way high enough and flatten me out. If you feel somebody sitting up like this as you try to body lock, you gotta deal with it, right? If I'm coming here, he's gotta come up, keep coming up. You don't want me to get, and start hand fighting. Because if you allow me to get my hand through, I want you to keep passing around me. The other thing you can do is once you feel somebody come through, you can immediately try to go to mount. That's the better option. If you keep coming to side control, that's when you're gonna get Darc'e. All right, so one more time. You wanna see it? Yeah, actually. So, if his head's on this side, the same side, that way you can shoot your Darc'e in, right? So think about it. I can see his armpit. That's where you can hit it. So as he's trying to body lock and pass, I just shoot this underneath and catch. And then now you can fall back. Now as he's coming, you can fall back and catch at any moment. And then you just squeeze. You don't really need to catch their head. You don't need to find any angles. The angle's already there. He's already T-boned you, which is where you want to be, like we did with Darc'e. Catch here, catch, and think about your forearm blade. Just putting as much, squeezing all that pressure into his neck as he passes. And then you fall on your back and allow gravity for him to come down on you and squeeze. All right, questions? 1, 2, 3.